Dick Vitale. Hey, I'm so proud to introduce you to Mr. Bill Rasmussen, the founder, the creator of ESPN. I thank him every day. It's given me one heck of a living and a heck of a life. I say thank you, Bill. Bill to me is a guy with great passion, a great feel for what he does. He's a P.T. Beard, baby, a primetime performer. He's like the 3S man, super, scintillating, sensational. He's awesome, baby, with a count the line. Yes, Bill Rasmussen, a flat-out winner in the game of life.
Thank you very much. I want to ask you, how do you think we planned all this to have Vitale on campus the day a Hall of Fame coach retires? Pretty amazing to me. Anyway, we come back to the University of Connecticut. Many of you, well, I suppose all except a few faces I see in the crowd, have been born after ESPN began, but it began right here on the Storrs campus of the University of Connecticut. We honor people, and I certainly congratulate Jim Calhoun on 25 years, just an amazing record. And if I'm correct or incorrect, we have a statistician down here who will correct me, Mike Saldes, former student at the University of Connecticut and now working at ESPN, and he does a bunch of little things. He's going to tell you about that in a minute, though. 25 years, and he's a 40-year coach, right? 26 years here, and 41 years as an NCAA Division I coach. I believe 15 years at Northeastern. So congratulations to Jim. And I have to tell you, I follow basketball on television. I watch ESPN. Is that a surprise? No, I don't think so. I watch ESPN, and I have seen, I don't know how many basketball games. We started in 1980 with the NCAA. I think they only had 32 teams then. Would I be correct? I think so. Anyway, I have never seen a run more exciting or more successful and more, I mean, just drop dead, we've got to do this right now and go on to win a national championship than winning those 5 straight games in the Big East with Kimba making that last one. What do you think? Did any of you agree with that one? I think so. I found it difficult today coming out to Storrs because I haven't been here for a long time. But every time it seems that I come out here, something is happening. I had 2 sons that both attended the University of Connecticut. Neither graduated from here. They went to other places to graduate. One of them I can't figure out. He ended up with 5 degrees. He's my, not like 6 degrees of separation, 5 college degrees in things that I can't even pronounce. But that's okay. And the oldest son, Scott Rasmussen, you may recognize, you might see him every now and then on TV as Rasmussen Reports. He's a pollster and a professor. I think is Carl Everett Ladd, had the Roper Institute here at the University of Connecticut. That's what got him interested in numbers and polling, and now that's his business. So we have a lot of ties to the University of Connecticut, but we're not here to talk about all of those. It is, the way ESPN has grown is, it's phenomenal. Everybody says, how does that happen? One question before you even ask it. Later on, we're going to have Q&A. You're going to say, did I ever think that ESPN would be as big as it is today? Before you ask the question, I want you to turn back. Most of you have to look back in your history books. We didn't have computers. We didn't even have a fax machine when we started. So we weren't going to go very far in technology that way. However, what we did have was the idea that the sports fans of America really, really loved their sports, no matter what it might have been, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, wrestling, you name it. And we were going to, our first presentation of the NCAA was, we're going to take all the sports you'll give us and we're going to put those all on television 24 hours a day, and we will give some exposure to your student athletes in sports that are not showcased on the 3 major networks. So anyway, we're going through all of this stuff, but how do we do it? And so we decided we don't know any facts, so we better start asking people some facts. And if I can stay out of the way and you can see some of these. Pretty simple, really. When we start down, we needed financing, right? We needed some advertising and the content, which was the NCAA programming. Technology was that satellite that we had. And we needed some subscribers, customers. So what did we do? We started talking to people. We went first on the financing route. We ended up with Getty Oil after meeting with 7 other companies who said, basically, it'll never work. One of them said, not only will this program not work, cable television won't even be around in 3 years. okay, that's the way they felt about it. Advertising, we weren't even on the air, and we were presenting to Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis. We got an agreement in principle in January of 1979, 9 full months before we went on the air, and that was confirmed in May. And then the content we just talked about, March 1st, 1979, the NCAA came on board, and we already had the satellite from RCA, and then we had to get the subscribers, MSOs, multiple system operators. I have no idea how many cable systems there are in the country today, but there are thousands, individual systems. But they're all controlled at a corporate level in groups of 100 or 200 or whatever, and so we had to get to those multiple system operators. And we started down that path, and United Cable, one of their systems was the one we started at in Plainville. They became our very first subscriber. So putting all the facts together, it was just great. We're getting this put together, and in the summer of 1979, and I think this one is really kind of funny because we talked about it at the time. ESPN may become the biggest thing in TV since Monday Night Football and nighttime World Series games. And now Monday Night Football is on ESPN. That is just so amazing to me. And it only took about, let's see, 1979, 21, and 2005 the contract was signed. So about a quarter of a century. Time flies when you're having fun. So there we were. So when we think about all of those things, I think about the big three networks and what they thought of us. They looked at us with total disdain. These networks who began really, well, NBC was the first, then CBS came along, and that was right around the beginning of World War II. But the country was so skeptical of television, the administration really, was so skeptical of television, they would not allow any war footage to be shown on television. You had to go to the movies on Saturday where you could see the government-edited version of what was happening in World War II. So those two networks kind of waddled along for a while through the war, and we got the black and white shows, and we got Arthur Godfrey, and we got a bunch of things that I can't even remember what they were, so certainly you wouldn't. And then the most incredible piece of history that I've discovered is ABC, which was really the outgrowth of an antitrust suit over a couple of radio networks that NBC owned. ABC didn't even start till 1950. 1950. That was the year I started college. So I mean, I can remember all this history going through all of this time. And here these guys are 28 years later, 28 years saying, we're the best, the greatest, and you should never see more than one football game a week or maybe two on a good Saturday. And we didn't buy it. And we didn't buy it because we thought the fans wanted it, and to this day, that's what ESPN preaches. The fan drives it. And if any of you are studying statistics and demographics and different audience segments, if you think about it, the sports fan is probably the biggest single demographic group in the world. You can break it down however you want to men and women and age groups and so on. But sports fans come from northeast, southwest, young, old, rich, poor. Makes no difference. They like football, baseball, basketball, soccer. You can name 42 teams. And ESPN's goal at the beginning was to deliver more programming to fans who wanted to see it because we knew they were thirsty for it. And then, of course, we wanted in 1978 to do that. We wanted in 1979 to do that. And to this day, the fan is still the king at ESPN. Real brief mission statement to serve the sports fan anywhere, anytime. You want to watch it, you'll find it on ESPN. And now they are even honoring the fans, I believe, later this week with an award in the Hall of Fans. Do I have the name correct? So lots of things keep happening. But the point that I wanted to make is the networks became very complacent. And when you're in business and you're starting a new business, that's the best ally you can have. If your competition is complacent, they're no good. They'll never catch us. We're better than they are. They weren't moving forward. I think ESPN moves forward every hour on the hour with some new idea or some whatever. The culture is such that they want to be the very best. They have more rights fees. They have more everything in the way of sports, technology. Until just recently, there were 40 people there that came during that first year. A couple of them started to retire. After 33 years, a couple of them started to retire. I guess that's okay. I had the good fortune yesterday to do sign some books at the Bristol campus, And everyone proudly states how long they've been there. And the longer they've been there, they all say, and this is where I'll retire from. They just think the culture is great, the excitement that happens day after. You never know what's going to happen next. I get a kick out of watching reality shows on TV. I've never done one. I bet I see all the ads. I've never watched a reality show on TV because they're canned. What's the greatest reality show that anybody can ever watch on any TV, but primarily on ESPN? A sporting event. Who knew Kemba Walker would make that last shot in the 5th game in the Big East tournament? Talk about real live reality. It hits the rim and bounces away. All of UConn Nation goes, it bounces in, it goes in as it did, and it's one of the greatest runs in college basketball history. So that's the way I look at sports. That's the reality, and ESPN has been following through with that on so many platforms that I can't even guess. I said earlier, people asked me that question. It's still serving the fan, same as we started, only we had one satellite. Now they have so many platforms, I can't tell you. Afterwards, or if Mike, you want to tell us, do you know how many platforms you serve sports on today? Just a quick number? All. Typical PR man, right? When you don't know the real answer, but that's good. No, but seriously, ESPN will serve the fan, and whatever happens to technology, that's what they're doing. They're delivering a game, and you can see a game on your phone. You can see it in HD, 3D. You can see it in any number of different ways. And I'm asked the question, what about cable? Cable is going to go away. What happens to ESPN when cable goes away? Don't worry about ESPN. If cable's going away, they're going to lead the way to the next delivery platform. There will always be a delivery platform for programming that people really want to see. If you ever have an opportunity to, some of you may have had an opportunity to visit the facilities out there, it is ever growing. They have a north and a south campus. It just gets bigger and bigger, and they probably couldn't, the city of Bristol, I don't think, could find a better corporate partner to live within the city limits. And now Southington is doing the same thing, and it just keeps expanding. I don't know how long I will be around to watch it grow, but I can guarantee you it will be growing. And if you have a chance to get out and talk and visit and see what goes on, it's an amazing, amazing experience. And the people are all amazing as well. Now, I understand we're going to do some Q&A, and I want to thank you all for taking the time to come here today. I'm honored by your presence, and to be here on campus with all the things happening and with all the ties to UConn is really special to me. Thank you very much.